a gentleman would just do these things because they're a kind thing to do and not as a transactional thing. A man does open the door for me or pull out my chair or order for me at a restaurant. I know that the feminist women are going to be like, I can do that myself. But to be honest, you can even soften those women. That still might even be just like a stupid joke.
And maybe it is. Maybe it actually is that. Maybe it's like a dungeon door and he's like,
yeah, but it's like
I could have done it myself.
Is chivalry dead?
Oh, nice bridge.
You know? I mean, it just flowed, so I had to take my opportunity. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a good topic for multiple reasons and kind of went into like what you're saying with like the romance. I think people will probably act like chivalry is dead, but I think it's reviving for the reason that we just talked about. Like, I think there is a big uptick on romance and women wanting that romance. And granted, I think men have, for the most part, shied away from that. Yeah. But if they embrace that, then they'll already be ahead of a lot of people because a lot of guys have kind of like kicked romance out the window.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, why? You know, and it goes back to like men are hating women more these days and women are hating men more these days. So it's like, that's why a lot of this has gone out the window.
Yeah.
But for the people who still are into the romance and like the chivalry and like, you know, those gestures that really make a woman feel appreciated, even on like a first date or something like that, they go a lot further than men think that they do.
Yeah.
And instead of viewing it as like weak or like too interested in a woman or something, I think it should be viewed as like showing who you are as a person. Like a gentleman would just do these things.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, because they're a kind thing to do and not like as a transactional thing. Like it just shows his integrity. And I think it needs to come from a place of your integrity, showing your integrity as a man versus like people pleasing or catering to a woman. Which like, and if you like the woman you're with, especially like if you're in a relationship, like it's not a bad thing either to act like you like the woman that you're with and treat her a certain way and hold her to this standard. Like it's not putting her on a pedestal, but if that's your woman, she should be treated like she's different than every other woman. You know what I mean?
And she should be put on a pedestal, as weird as that sounds, in the sense that, because that's what chivalry really looks like, is that it's not like I'm doing this for you because you need this or because you want me to do this. I'm doing this for you because I'm lifting you up.
Right. You are of importance to me.
Right. But and that's where that whole confusion with the nice guys doing stuff and them being super nice. And I think that's why guys were like, oh, I shouldn't do this stuff. It's too, I don't want to be friend zone. I don't want to be a nice guy. And it's like, but they're doing it because they're afraid, because they're trying to win approval. As a man doing it, you're doing it because this woman is precious and you're going to treat her as such, whether she believes it or not. It doesn't matter. Even if she's opposed to it, you're still, because this is how you treat a lady and this is what I do.
Right.
Not, you know what I'm saying? Not to gain anything.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important for men to court women because, you know, like we talked about in the last episode, like, there needs to be like the playfulness, the flirting, things like that. But I feel like as a woman going on dates, if a man does open the door for me or pull out my chair or order for me at a restaurant, like, I know that the feminist women are going to be like, I can do that myself. But to be honest, you can even soften those women.
Yeah.
Because if you're viewing it from that viewpoint, you're viewing it wrong to begin with. Like, a man is not doing those things because he thinks you're not capable. But that's what feminist women think of. They're like, no, let me do it myself. I can order for myself. But as like someone who now, like, you still do all these things for me. And I appreciate them even to this day because it makes me feel important to you, like that you value me, like that you're trying to do this thing for me, even though it's a little thing. Like, you know, I can order my own food, but you want to do this thing for me to show that you're supporting me, like you care about me,
right.
and that you want to do this thing for me. And I think that when people mislabel it and they view it as like, oh, well, he thinks I can't order for myself, or he thinks I can't open the door for myself. Logically, that makes zero sense. Like, there is no world where a man opening a door for you means you can't open it for yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Like, unless he's opening it like, oh, it's too heavy for your little lady arms or something. Like, that still might even be just like a stupid joke.
And maybe it is. Maybe it actually is that. Maybe it's like a dungeon door, and he's like,
yeah, but it's like
I could have done it myself.
He's opening all the doors.
Yeah.
Like, you're just, and he's like ordering for you. It should be viewed as like a nice gesture.
Right.
And they're like diminishing that by intentionally misinterpreting it. Right. Like, because even before you and I got together, like, I was definitely a more like strong, independent woman. And I would never, if a guy opened a door for me, I would never be like, oh, he thinks I can't open the door. I'd be like, that's really nice, you know? Like, or, you know, he opened the car door, he pulled out my chair. I'd be like, that's just like a really nice gesture that not a lot of guys do anymore. Like, it feels like he's taking care of you.
Right.
Not because you can't do anything for yourself, but because he wants to. He wants to show you that he cares about taking care of you.
Right.
And that is so important and so like stand out against a lot of the men today who are 50-50 guys, or who are like, you go on a date with them, they don't do any of that stuff, and then they're like, so are you gonna pay for you had 3 drinks, make sure you get those on yours, right? Like, it's just blows my mind when women try to diminish the nice gestures of like the chivalrous thing to do. Or like, even you do this too, like walking on a sidewalk and the man walks on the outside. Like, I notice all those things, and they do make me feel better. Like, as a woman, they make me feel like, oh, you care enough about that. Like, you don't want anything happening to me, that you're standing on this side of the, like, I'm not saying that you think I'm going to get hit by a car, or like that's going to happen, or any of those things. It's just the kind thing to do. And it shows that you want to take care of me in the manly way. And like, you value me as the woman that's with you and your wife. And and if you don't like it and you tell the guy, oh, I don't need you to open the door for me, or I find that degrading, or whatever kind of silly stuff, and he does it anyway, then you better keep that man, because then now you know that that's a man, right? Because it doesn't matter that you're saying that, right? You might think, oh, he doesn't respect what I'm saying. No. He's a man who respects his own principles, and that's going to be more rare. Well, and it's doing the right thing.
And he's not doing it to try and make you like him either. He's doing it because it's the right thing to do. Right. And you want a guy that does things because it's the right thing to do. Right.
Because he's a kind person. Right. I hold doors open for people. Right. I'm not a man. I don't view it as that. So it's like, if somebody was like, you're degrading me, I'd be like, it's literally a door that I opened. So you didn't have to. Like, just say thank you.
Yeah.
Really, it bothers me, because it's like, I have been the strong, independent, like, don't need a man type of woman, and I still didn't even belittle men who did do these things. And it's not a lot of men who even does these things.
Right.
So why would a woman try to put down the few men that do still do things that are very kind and considerate?
Right.
So
yeah, it's treating a lady like a lady.
Right.